Hello and welcome back to my channel. So today it's freezing outside, so instead of going out and droning, I thought I'd put this video together about transition. So I had a really big problem about trying to get one clip transition to another clip, and I couldn't figure it out. So I've spent ages trying to work out how it works in DaVinci Resolve and why it does it. So I thought I'd put a small video together for someone else who's learning, because ultimately that's what I am learning and this is what I've come across. So let's get into it. Let's get the cup of coffee. Make sure you put your fleece on because I'm freezing. So see you in a minute. Okay, so now I've got these two clips up. What I want to do is be able to put a piece of transition in there, and I'll show you the problem I had. But before I do that, I've got another camera set up, so I'm going to jump between the two and see if it works. If it doesn't, then I'll get rid of it for the next video. But I'm going to try it this way as well to see what it looks like. But yeah, I'm going to see how we get on. So first what we're going to do is we're going to go over to the effects, and then the first one is video transitions, and with that it's got all your effects. It's pretty basic in the Resolve free version. I've not got the studio yet. I will be installing that, but I do want to do a couple of tutorials before I go any further. So as you scroll down, you've got a few different ones, and if you go over them you can see it'll give you an example. So you got barn door, opens up, and have a play around with them. Anyway, I'm digressing. So we're just going to do a quick dip to color dissolve, and if you click it, it'll go red around the outside. And then what we want to do with that is want to drag that over to the actual piece of footage that you want to transition between. And this is where I found the first problem. So as you can see, it's not highlighted each side. So let's zoom in a little bit, and you'll see what I mean. So it's not showing you. It's got an arrow that way, so you can add it to there, but it's not on there. And then when we press play, it just jumps. So the dissolve is not working. And to get around that, I can't believe how long it took, but it's technology, so you have to learn. So this is what this is. So what you need to do is you need to find a couple of seconds each side of the video that you want to kind of get rid of, if you like, but use it as the transition. So what I mean by that is grab the footage that you want to transition to. So this one on the right, 168 MP4. So move that up to video 2. And if you go over the start of it, you'll see the line. And if you drag it, it won't let you drag it over any further, but it will let you drag it back, which will give you, if you see the plus sign, it gives you a couple of seconds. Starts with 0 and then works its way up. So how many seconds you want to get rid of it. Now that's pretty key. So what we want to do is get rid of 4 seconds, let's say, for instance sake. So we've done one side now. So if we drag that back down and then grab that same dissolve, so we're going to get the special effect dissolve and we're going to drag that over it. Still not letting us do it. So let's do the next one. So on this side, we want to drag this over and we'll do 2 seconds on that as well, but it's doing 3. So don't worry too much. If you lose a bit too much footage, you can always go back and edit it. So I'm going to do 3, and I'm going to drag that up. So now we've got 2 seconds on this side, on the right side, and then 2 seconds on the left side. So, and what that means is it's now giving DaVinci Resolve a couple of seconds each way to be able to edit and use the dissolve. So if we push that up there like that, and then we move it over, you can see we've got a couple of seconds. So what we're going to do is we're going to get the, let's use blur dissolve. So as you can see now, when we drag it over, it's now got the dissolve on there, and it's literally that simple. I was quite amazed, but we'll go on to the next step. I do get a bit carried away, so apologies in advance. So we're now on to the next step. So with this now, we've got a bit of a transition, but before we do anything, let's get rid of that. So we press right mouse button and we'll come back to these. So you've got start of edit, center of edit, and then change transition duration. We're going to come back to that. We're going to set this up and get this working so you can see the basics of it and how it works and what makes it do what it does in DaVinci, and it stops you from doing if you don't do it the right way. So we'll get rid of that. We'll delete it off. So you have to make sure it's highlighted. there we go, we've got it highlighted. We'll delete it. We're going to zoom in a bit more, so as far as we can. By the way, this footage is from a recent park little how do you say, play if you like with the drone. It was really good. It was dead fast, so I really enjoyed it. But I'm in the process of editing it, so if you've not seen it already and gone and had a look, in the description for the link, subscribe because it will be on there. Right, okay, so we're going to pull this up now, and then I want to show you that you can see there's a couple of seconds now, and what that is it's giving DaVinci Resolve a couple of seconds each side to be able to do the transition. So we'll push that over back to 2 seconds. We'll do 3 because the other one was a 3 as well. So 3, and then we'll put it under there. So we'll do blur dissolve. And now with that, you can edit that however you want. If you make sure your inspector is up on the right hand side, so I've got it currently up, but if it's under something else, mixer or whatnot, that's up there, get rid of that. If you haven't got it set or you haven't got it on, press inspector on the right hand side, that'll bring it up. So in here you can do the transition types, you can change the duration. So we currently got it to 3 seconds. You can make it bigger, but it's not going to let us do that because we've only set the clip each side to 3 seconds. So, and that's key. If you want to make it longer, you can see how the red line around it. If you want to make that longer, you're going to have to do your edit longer. So if we do, for example, we've got 3 seconds there. If we move it over to, let's take 10 seconds and then bring that over. So back to there again, dissolve again. So now it's not in red any longer. And the reason why it's not in red is because there's a bit on the left-hand side that it can play with. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to move that over now. So if you get the arrow, click on it, left-hand mouse button, and then you can move that over. It's going to call me a liar, not let me do it, because I haven't done it the same on the other side. So let's move that down to 10 seconds. Okay, so we've got a bigger dissolve now. So as you can see, it's larger now. It's no longer 3 seconds, it's 10 seconds. So I'm learning as much as you're learning if you're watching this, and you can change that as well. So what we want to do is we're going to move this one on the right hand side, on the left hand side down a bit. So we'll move it, and you'll see the transition on both sides. See how they both change at the same time to allow the transition. And that's the reason why it was red before. It won't allow you to do it anymore because there's only 3 seconds on the right hand side. So let's just press play, and you'll see the transition now. It's nice and quick, and up, and I'm off again. And that's what I want. I wanted it nice and quick. So we can put on another one. And you can see it moves dead quick. And that's kind of what I want because it was a quick video. So that was the idea of this, making it as quick as possible and making it effective as possible. So let's go on to the next thing. Okay, so now we've got that sorted. We're okay with that now. But you want to do some changes to it. You want to edit it a little bit and see what you can do in messing around with it. So we've got the video setting on the inspector up. If you just click on it, if it goes off and you're on the video, for example, on the file, just click on the transition that you want. It will go red line, as you can see around it, and then it will come up on your transition on the right hand top part there where your inspector is. And in there you can mess around with it. But now, as you can see, it will move on the screen, and because of that, it's because we'll give it 10 seconds on each side, and that 10 seconds makes it a quick transition or a slow transition, however you want to do it. So we're going to make it 10 seconds. Well, it's actually giving me 8 seconds, 20 frames. But then you can move that around as well. So you can move, if you're not quite on there right, you can move the middle bar, which is your cut, if you like. So there's 1 and there's 2, and then move that across like that. So, and that's what you can do with that. So now we're happy with that. So, and then in here as well, if you've made some changes and it's not the default, what we can do is we can change that. And this is really cool. So if you made a transition with this and you want to save it because you like it, so if you press your right mouse button in there like before, start on edit. So if you press that, it will go to the beginning, and then if we go to the end of edit, it will go to the end of the other one. So as you can see, it's jumped over to the other one, but we want to center it, so we've centered it. But we want to save that as well. And to save that, we'll go back onto there, right mouse button again, go down to create transition preset. And then what that does is that will give you this preset.jpg dialogue, then you put whatever you want in. So we'll do this as a test because this is literally a test. So let's make sure that we spell it right. So and then when you press OK, you've now got that as a preset. So if we zoom out, as you can see, I've got 2 clips. Let's create a break there. So Control and B will cut the video, and then let's zoom back out. So now we want to do a transition there. It's not, I don't want to do it, it's just for example purposes. So we'll drag that over, and as you can see, we can now add it to it. And the reason why we can add it to it is because it's a cut in the middle of that one big clip. So we've got one big clip, we've cut it down, so now we've got 2 of the same. But what it's done is in DaVinci Resolve, it's now given, like, as you can see, the line on there. So that line is now the actual full clip. So we've got all that to play with now. So now we can put whatever we want on there. And then, as you can see, we can add that to it, move it down. And if that does that for whatever reason, it's not joined together, we can just get rid of it. Press delete on your keyboard, it will get rid of it, bring it over, and then add it back to it. Now, a really cool feature, so we'll get rid of that. Get rid of that one, I'll show you. It's not going to let me do it. Let's get rid of that. Done it. Right, so a really cool feature is if you've got one transition, so this is the one we edited if you remember, so let's zoom in a bit on that one. So that really cool one there, so we'll highlight it. You can see highlighted. If you press Alt, as you can see, it's moved it over to the other side. So if you want to duplicate a video, so this was trial and error, I did see it when I was messing around with it, I couldn't remember how I did it. So this trial and error, so if you press your Alt keyboard on your keyboard and then you press a clip, video clip, and just drag it up, it creates a duplicate. Now in DaVinci Resolve, it allows you to do that with your transitions. So let's get rid of that. So we've highlighted it, it's red, delete, it's got rid of it. So if you get the transition that it is your custom edit, you can drag it down from your edits. I'll show you that in a second. Press Alt on your keyboard and and drag that over. Keeping your finger on the Alt button, it's allowed you to make a duplicate copy of it and drag it to the next transition. And that's really cool. That's just saving you work, saving you time all the time. That's quite cool. Right, anyway, so let's go down to presets. So we'll get rid of this one again, as this is just an example, and then we'll drag down the presets, and you can see now there's a user one, and that user one is a test one, if you remember, that we created. So if we drag that over there, that's the test one that we did. So you can start creating your own transitions if you want. And I thought that was really cool. That's literally it on this one. I hope you've enjoyed it. I tried to make it as simple as possible. It was something that I found by accident, and it was taking me forever to try and suss out. So I hope it's helped you in your DaVinci Resolve little journey, as they say. Hit like, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.